Day is a very special day because we're getting ready for Valentine's Day. So if you're writing to some of the ladies, I'd recommend to think about it and send them a gift, some special surprise. You don't have to send anything expensive, but maybe just a little bit of flowers or chocolate. Just, show her you're thinking about her, you care, and she'll really, really appreciate it. But Valentine's Day is gonna be this weekend, so there's not that much time left. So if you're thinking about ordering a gift, I'd recommend to do it as soon as possible. Because don't do it on 13th, it will be too late, we won't deliver it on time, and we're gonna have one very sad lady that's not gonna get her gift on time. So let's don't do that. So don't forget to at least say congratulations to, or send a nice message to your special ladies that you're talking to right now. And we do have a poll question for you tonight, which is, what does a good Valentine's Day look like to you? So can you tell us about your ideal day? So do you prefer to spend it at home on the couch, just watching Netflix, some dinner, just being cozy together, or you prefer to go to a nice restaurant, or maybe walk on the beach, or do something else special? So give other guys some ideas so they can prepare surprises for their ladies. And we do have a couple of testimonials for you, but we're gonna show it to you right after me reminding about our upcoming tours and seminars. So we have Costa Rica tour starting in 10 days, February 19th. So you have 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks to get ready and go to Costa Rica. If somehow you cannot make it to Costa Rica, we have Medellin tour March 5th and Bangkok tour March 26th. And actually on this Bangkok tour, we're gonna have some ladies from China also attending a social. We're gonna have a third social where ladies will fly all the way to China to meet you. So it's win-win situation. You get to meet both Thai and Chinese ladies. So if you're thinking about it, it's a great way to do it. And if you're not ready to travel anywhere yet, we do have the seminars for you coming up. We have seminar in Miami, May 16th, so we have a few months, so plan accordingly. And of course, a seminar in London. I think we had one before, and it was like 20 years ago. So yes, that would be a good time to sign up for London seminar if you live somewhere in the area. And of course, Los Angeles seminar, our traditional seminar in LA. August 23rd, John and Tanya are gonna be there, so you can meet them in person, ask all your questions about international dating and marriage. So let's go to our videos with our guys so they can tell you how they travel, how they met the ladies, and share their experience.
All right, is this your first time visiting Costa Rica?
Yes, it is.
Why did you decide to come here?
So I can meet some ladies that would give me an opportunity to see if we would be a match for a long-term relationship. The culture is a bit different than the US. I've noticed it's a bit more traditional, a bit more laid back, and everybody's just having a good time here. They're really good women. They're very beautiful, and they're easy to talk to.
Have you had any trouble communicating with them?
No, I have not. They're looking for loyalty, and they're looking for an actual relationship.
And how would that compare to women from the US?
There's a lot of women in the US that are wanting open relationships, or, they always think the grass is greener on the other side, so they're quick to, end a relationship and move on. I've noticed the last two events, there's about 60 to 70 women here. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to meet different women with different backgrounds.
Okay, now that you've had this second night, how does it compare to yesterday when you had your first night here?
I'm actually getting a little bit more used to talking with ladies and being a bit more comfortable. First night, it's a lot to take in, a lot of noise, a lot of laughter. So tonight I'm, able to parse that out a little bit more.
And now that you've had your first taste of meeting Costa Rican women and experiencing talking to them, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to getting to know some of them on the coming dates and just kind of see where things go from there.
And what would you like other gentlemen to know as they consider signing up for a social?
They should definitely do it. You know, don't waste your time, sending letters to these women for long periods of time. You know, it may not work out, so you're just best to go meet the women as soon as possible. You know, pick a country and go to it and, just see if you like it. There are options. You know, this is my first one, first tour. I'm here in Costa Rica. If it doesn't pan out, I've got Peru. I could go to the Philippines. I could go to, Ukraine. So it gives me an opportunity to really find what I'm looking for out there with different cultures.
And so what would you say to another AFA tour?
I would definitely go. I would actually go to Ukraine if the war wasn't on at this point, but it's kind of a little too dangerous for me.
Is this your first time visiting Costa Rica?
Yes, my first time in Costa Rica.
And why did you decide to come to Costa Rica?
I was looking for a new experience with a new culture. I understand that the ladies here have family values and faith in God, so I find that attractive. Women in America are good, but at my age, they are not interested in serious relationships. It's much more amenable here to developing relationships with young ladies.
And what are your thoughts about Costa Rican culture in general so far?
Costa Rican culture seems good. I'm not an expert by any means, but I appreciate their family values and their consistent faith in God.
Has it been easy to communicate with the women here?
Yeah, it's been pretty easy and very enjoyable.
All right, now that you've had 2 nights of the event, how did they compare the first night to the second?
Second night we had more energy, seems like, but both nights were good. Both nights had connections, with certain ladies, and it was worthwhile. Very good experience.
And what did you think about the event in general?
It's good, very good. Good opportunity to meet good people and develop relationships.
What would you want other gentlemen to know as they think about maybe coming to a social?
It's always better, and I've fallen into the trap of writing endless letters. That never works. It's always better to come in person, meet some ladies in person, find a real connection. Definitely worth the time and effort more than writing letters.
And any specific tips that you would want them to know as they consider taking the plunge?
Just be yourself. Let whatever's going to happen. Costa Rica is a good place because the women are, the economy here is better than most. The women here are not super desperate. They can be themselves and all that stuff.
Is this your first time visiting Costa Rica?
It is.
What made you decide to come to Costa Rica?
Well, I've been traveling in Latin America throughout the years and not been to Costa Rica. Plus, this was a chance to meet some Latin American ladies, so I decided to come. Well, I like the Latin American culture, the food, the people. It's very laid back, and the ladies have a different outlook on life than American women.
And specifically, what is it about Costa Rican women that's so different from the women from your country?
Well, I think they're loyal. Age doesn't seem to matter, and they have, many of them have excellent jobs and careers, and they're not interested in money per se, and they don't have a problem with age differences like happens in the U.S.
Has it been easy to communicate with the women here?
Well, we have a translator, so it's been helpful in that case, but obviously the language barrier is a little bit of a problem. But many of the ladies do speak English or partial English, so it hasn't been a difficult thing, no. Well, it seems to be very well run. Gustavo and the staff are very helpful. Any questions, any problems, they take care of. I like the fact that other tours and activities are available for us to do. So we don't have to find anything to do if we have some downtime. Well, there are about 3 different ladies that I've made a very good connection with, and we are going to explore that over the next few days, and hopefully something serious will come of it. Well, if you have not experienced it, it is quite the amazing event. You have many ladies here talking to you. They're very interested in relationships. They like American men. They like how we think. They like how we take care of our women versus what's happening in their own countries. So they are very open and they want to find a nice man. We'll try to learn a little bit of Spanish, say hello, goodbye, nice to meet you, things like that. But take the plunge and come. I would definitely take another one. This is my second tour. I went to China once and it was very good also. But obviously China is a long way away. This is much closer. So yes, I would suggest any man who's serious about finding a relationship and wants a woman who has different outlook on life than American ladies to come and explore.
So it's Friday evening, we are in Medellin, and it's such a pleasure, this interview, because we have been waiting for 5 years to meet each other, I think, and David is finally in Colombia. He was everywhere, but not in Latin America yet. Not true. You were in Costa Rica, right?
Yes.
But never in Colombia.
Never
in Colombia. So
Not on an AFA tour.
not on an AFA tour. So I'm very excited that you're here now. And David is not only on the tour, he's also using the Elite Club service. So he's doing a combination of both. So David, first of all, how are you? How was the night? And then we talk about the rest.
Tonight was amazing. The girls in Colombia, in Medellin, do a fantastic job. I've never felt so welcome, and I've never had somebody work so hard for me to make sure that I had many dates.
Thank you so much. So that's good. And how were your dates? You had like quite a few already. You did video calls before with some of the women, and then you went and met them, right?
So I've been on many tours and done many things, but Maria sat me down and talked to me. And she told me the right way to go and how to handle things. And I've learned to trust professionals, and Maria is a true professional, and she knows exactly what she's doing. If you want advice, if you want somebody to help you meet the right woman, Maria is your girl. And John Adams told me that.
Oh, David, thank you so much. That's really, really nice of you, and thank you for your nice words. I appreciate it, and you know, we do that really because we love what we're doing. We love to take care of you. We love to match you with the right people, so I'm very happy that you can feel that. And you know, it's not me, it's everybody. It's a whole team effort, so thank you so much. And yeah, we appreciate that, really.
Every employee in the office at Medellin has made me feel welcome. Every one. This gentleman right here taking my video, he's awesome. Linda is awesome. They only want to please you. They only want to make you happy, and they only want you to have success. And I've never had that feeling before, and I know I'm going to have success here in Medellin. All you guys sitting on the couch, stop sitting on the couch. This is the place for you. Come listen to Maria. She will find you the woman of your dreams.
David, thank you so much, really. David, you have been around with AFA like for 8 years, 10 years?
A long time.
A long time, a couple of years, okay. And you have been to the Ukraine, you have been to Costa Rica, you haven't been to Asia?
No.
No.
It's a little too far for me.
Okay. And what is, like, for the ones who are between Ukraine and maybe Latin America, what would you say is the difference? The women, the culture, the socials, whatever.
Well, the Ukraine is amazing, but the women here in Colombia are warm, caring, and loving. And I've listened to the advice of the professionals, and John and Maria both told me to get here, come down here and meet the women of Colombia. And they could not have been more wrong, and I have never, ever been treated better by anyone, and never had anybody look out for my best interest as Maria and Linda have done in this office.
David, thank you so much. That's, as I said, like, I cannot say much more than that. And about the women from tonight, right? Were they professional women? Did you have the feeling they were serious? The women you met on the dates, the women you met on the video calls, would you say, like, they are serious? What are they looking for?
Every woman in Colombia has struck me as being serious and ready for a relationship. They want to meet a good man, and they're warm and caring and very loving. I am convinced, after traveling all over the world for 10 years, this is the place to meet the woman of your dreams.
And Colombia is fantastic, guys. Like what David is saying, like just don't sit on the couch and watch these videos, because you can do that for years. But if you're here, it's going to be a completely different experience and you're not going to regret it. It's just, even if you don't find the love of your life, even if that doesn't happen, I assure you're going to have an amazing time. You're going to meet nice people, nice guys.
Oh my God, this is the experience of a lifetime. I am addicted to AFA. Their tours, the tours are the most exciting nights of your life. I told all the women tonight in my interviews that now I know what it's like to be a beautiful woman, because when I walk in here, all the women look at me and they treat me like I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. Yeah. And I've never felt that in my life. So guys, if you want to be treated like you're the best man in the world and everybody wants to know you, this is the place for you.
Yeah. You feel a little bit like a rock star.
Oh, absolutely. that sums it up perfectly. I feel like Bruce Springsteen and Elton John and everybody put together.
Yes.
This is I am so high right now and so excited right now. Guys, get off the couch, get down here and meet these beautiful women.
And David was so amazing, because you not only danced, like you danced, wow, and then you had like 3 beautiful women dancing around you, and it was like, ooh.
Oh, and hell yeah. Guys, this is the place.
So guys, this is the place. Don't wait longer. Now is the time. It's 2025, right? We have the first social, we have more to come. So just come, just do it. Don't wait. And
Maria said to me, and we had talked a few times, but she said, David, get down here. We will find you the woman of your dreams. And she was telling the truth. Guys, get down here and find the woman of your dreams and be happy. Get off the couch and enjoy what life has to offer.
Nothing else I can add. So guys, have a great night. Thank you so much, David. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting AFA. And yeah, I am very, very optimistic that this will be it. So
I think I have already met the woman of my dreams. After 10 years, I think I've met the woman of my dreams.
Yeah. So excited. So bye-bye from Medellin. See you soon, hopefully. Bye.
Guys, listen to what David said. You gotta get on a plane and go to Colombia, or Ukraine, or anywhere else, but just get on a plane and go and meet, that special person. So let's get to your questions. The first one, this is a great real-time live stream experience from actual customer. Always good to hear from women's perspectives. Thanks, Anna. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. Passport King. Hopefully we'll find our own perspective best match via AFA. Thank you. Julian, my answer to tonight's question is wine, dine, and the company and the conversation of my good woman, who I hope to find one day with help of AFA. Well, I'm sure you'll find her. Hopefully it will be sooner rather than later. But yes, it's a good way to spend the Valentine's Day. Wes says, I'm currently not in a relationship, so for me Valentine's will look like a double with onions and vanilla shake from In-N-Out Burger. Well, those are great, so it's a fantastic way to spend Valentine's Day, if you're still single. But again, hopefully not for long. Passport King says, Ukraine's still my #1 choice. Good. Love. Meeting in person is good for sure, and having more of a choice to choose from this is a great showing. Alright. Blue says, just today I was sitting in my chair and my 2 granddaughters climbed up my lap. My wife was in my wife was in the bedroom, so I called her like we used to do video chat. Oh, so sweet. Well, I'm glad you guys are still doing great, and hopefully you're gonna make it to Arizona one day. I'd love to meet your wife in person. Passport King says, okay, Costa Rica is a very close second to Ukraine. Costa Rica is a fantastic destination. We have great staff. Gustavo and his sister Andrea, they've been doing it for years and years and years. So they know pretty much all the ladies personally. They can make a lot of recommendations. They're really good at matchmaking. So Costa Rica is a good way to go. And actually, in Costa Rica, there's I noticed we do have quite a few profiles with the ladies who already have current tourist visas, so something to consider. And David says, for Valentine, I prefer an early dinner for a Valentine and then go home and watch maybe Netflix and relax. If I had a girlfriend, maybe when I attend a social. Yes, Netflix is also a good option as well. And Blue says, the only way is to meet them in person. I didn't know my wife existed until I met her at a social. See guys, listen to voice of experience. It's the only way you can find your love, only when you go there. So all this correspondence, video calls, it is a helpful tool to a certain degree. Yes, you can get to know someone on the surface, but you'll never know this person deep enough. You never know if you have any chemistry connection, and your dynamics in your relationship until you meet in person. So you need to sit at the table with her, spend some time to see how she laughs at your jokes. If you want to hold each other's hands, spend time together. That's the only way. David says, I was going to attend the one in April Kiev, however I am in the middle of putting my home on the market. Well, you still can go. You have a real estate agent, so let him do the job and still go to Ukraine. One second. Love says, Ukraine is farther away than Asia, just curious. Maybe he prefers Ukraine and Latin women. Well, could be. Danny says, what's the real difference in dating outcomes between Ukraine and Latin America? Well, outcome hopefully the same, hopefully get married. So it's just different cultures. If we're just generalizing the population in Eastern Europe, people tend to be more reserved, and dating time courtship takes longer before people commit to engagement and marriage. I would say on average, nowadays, 6 months, a year or so before a couple decide to move forward with engagement, visas, etc. In Latin America, people are a little bit more open, so the courtship process takes probably a little bit less. But of course, everybody is very different too. The next question is from Paul. My wife is from Ukraine. We exchanged 3 letters through FA before meeting in person. See, it's all it takes. You don't need to write letters for years and years. Just you can send a message, introduce yourself. I do recommend to send maybe like 1 or 2 messages before you go. Right before you go, just introduce yourself, because when you're doing a tour, our staff is gonna contact the lady from your list and forward your profile. First of all, quite often guys are not that great at writing their own profiles, and they're gonna be a couple of photos that you uploaded online, but also quite often not the best quality, because men just don't care about those things generally. And when you write a letter, you introduce yourself, so you can write 3-4 paragraphs about yourself. It will make you stand out more, and it will make her more interested in you rather than just seeing brief summary of your profile. So more chances she'll agree to a date. Travis, if I did it locally and it didn't work, what are the most common blind spots you see when men pick a country for the wrong reasons? Trying, I don't think I'm fully understanding the question. Would you mind to rephrase it for me? I don't think I'm. So sorry, Travis, if you don't mind rephrasing it for me. Mickey says, if I'm introverted or rusty, what's your step-by-step plan for me during a tour so I'm not overwhelmed by options? Well, that's why you're gonna have our staff to help you. So you're gonna have a staff member assigned to you at the social. So she can help you to break ice with the lady. So you don't need to talk to all 160 people in the room. You can just describe your interpreter, your matchmaker, what you need. So say I'm looking for a lady between 30 35 with no kids, preferably English speaking, and point out to some ladies in the room, like showing your general type, and she can walk out to those ladies, introduce you to tell them about you even before you start talking to them. So, and if they're interested, then she'll bring you over and formally introduce us, help you start a conversation. A lady will already know something about you, so you just start chat. You don't have to discuss very deep subjects, and don't need to turn it in job interview where you see yourself in 5 years. Just have it, just chit chat, talk for a few minutes, and if there is a mutual interest, a little bit of a connection, just exchange phone numbers, and then you'd send her a message on WhatsApp or Viber later. If there's a strong connection, just go out after the social. Especially in Ukraine, we started doing socials earlier now. Like in all other locations, we start socials at 6 p.m. In Ukraine now we started doing it most of the cases 1 o'clock, well, because of the curfew time, but on the other hand ladies like it as well too, because after a social is over you still have plenty of time to go out, have coffee or dinner with the lady you met at a social, so don't need to worry about the curfew time. You still have plenty of time to get back to your hotel, and also guys are not as tired during the days and evening, because with all the traveling, jet lag, you get there on Thursday, and Friday is your first social, so you already need to be all pumped up and energetic. So yeah, so hopefully that helps. Julian, I can't even remember what Valentine's like. It's been that long. Well, time to get back in the game. So start thinking about going somewhere, whatever your destination, whatever country. Just start saving, start planning where you want to go. Get on a plane and go. Brian says, what's more important quality that the ladies look for? Well, they all reply to that question. I'm looking for a reliable husband, because that's the main common. Of course, other criteria can be different as far as physical appearance, the personality qualities, but they all say the same thing when we ask them. I want a reliable guy, somebody with whom I can start a family. And again, reliable is the key, because she's going to be relocating to your country, so she's going to be quitting her job, leaving everything behind, so her life is going to depend on you. If she would date a local guy, she doesn't have to quit all this. So something doesn't work out in a relationship, well, split up in 5 minutes. When you relocated to another country, you need to be sure in this person that for whom you're doing all this for. So that's why it's extremely important. So it's going to be doing all this so they can start a family, and she would need your support. She would need you to be there for her, basically holding her hand, because it's going to be new ground for her. So help her to learn English. Maybe she already speaks English, but still, there's always a room for improvement. She would need you to show her basic things, help her with getting driver's license, help her with, getting her documents done. Just show her around, help her find friends, establish herself, so she's not sitting at home waiting for you, to come from work and being all sad and lonely. Just help her to start her new life in another country. So, let's see the next question. Dean is asking, how early should I plan my trip so everything goes smooth? Just depends. As far as buying tickets and stuff, I would say probably 3 months out would be a safe thing to say. You don't want to do it at the last moment, because the tickets can be expensive and you might not find the route that you want to take, so you want to prepare everything in advance. But also if you travel to a country that requires visa, for example, in most of places you cannot apply for a visa earlier than 90 days, so So 90 days out, and if we're talking about if you want to contact the ladies through the website in your destination country, do it in a few weeks out, couple weeks, week prior. So this way you don't start this excessive correspondence, because if your tour is not for another 6 months, don't start writing, because you send her a message, she replies, and then next thing you know, you're gonna be sending 2 messages a day to each other, and over a period of 6 months, you're gonna spend a small fortune on all this, and then you get there, you meet her, and find out there is no connection. So it's really bad investment. So as I said, a couple of messages right before you go, that's about it. The next, Makisik says, answer to the poll question. An ideal Valentine's Day involves an exchange of cards and gifts and flowers, followed by a romantic dinner consisting of red wine or champagne in addition to the entry. Alright, I see you have it all planned. Wonderful plan. Blue says, I asked that question at the social. One response I got was someone romantic. But I think they all want someone who is stable and loyal. Yes. So, of course, they would like a romantic man. It's a great, but it's a bonus. It's not the main requirement. Again, they can find romantic guys locally, but there is a reason why they decided to expand their horizon and look for men abroad. So yes, I agree. Stable and loyal guy. It's extremely important. Martin says, how do you help people understand each other when they don't speak the same language? Well, there's so many tools. There is Google Translate, there is translating earbuds. Technology is amazing. So on the first date, you can always use an interpreter, which we recommend. I don't recommend to start with, Google Translate on the first date, because it needs to be comfortable for both of you. You need to, to be relaxed. The conversation should go smoothly. You don't want to go to dictionary every time to look up the word you forgot. So, you just need to be able to, smile, have fun, laugh. And again, Google Translate doesn't translate jokes perfectly, so a lot can be lost in translation, and it can turn into disaster date. So make sure you have actually a live human translator, which you can also, again, you get feedback from that interpreter after the date, which is also helpful. And from that point, once a lady establish some connection, there's some chemistry, you find communicating on your own, you use the Messengers app, you stay in touch through Viber, WhatsApp. Viber has a built-in translation feature, so you just hold the message and automatically translates it in English. You don't even need to bother, copying and pasting into Google, so you just chat like that. And there are, again, so many software, Zoom has AI translator, if I'm not mistaken. So you can always do calls like that. So just use AI, and it's doing, really good translation. But of course, make sure you start practicing English with your girlfriend, your future fiance, and don't solely rely on the translation devices, because she still needs to start learning English when she comes here. She needs to be able to speak English to communicate, again, to start her social life. To get around, she would need to do that, so it would be great if you help her to enroll English classes in her city, so she can take private lessons, maybe group classes. It's just all different costs, so it depends how much you want to spend on this. And when she comes here, you can also enroll her into ESL classes, and most of community colleges, they're either free or cost $100, bare minimum. So this way she can also make friends in those classes and practice her English. And once she gets here, she's going to be speaking it daily. In no time, she will be fluent. So it just takes a little patience and a little understanding. And again, the benefit of people not speaking the same language, you can't really get an argument, Maybe, you want to, but you just really can't. So it saves a lot of relationship in the beginning. And you can always say, oh, honey, you just misunderstood me. It was lost in translation. It's not what I said, even though I know it's what you said. So, all right, more questions. Second. Steven says, when a guy says, I like Ukrainian women, what questions do you ask to figure out what he really wants? Well, I usually start, again, my first question is about age gap, or, when I start working with clients and we start doing matchmaking process, so I need to hear the expectations, how realistic it is. So what about age gap? What are we looking at? And of course other questions as far as the English level, kids, no kids, just the basic things. So that would be to start with. And of course, I'll ask why Ukrainian women, but pretty much everybody answered the same thing. Because of the looks, because they're beautiful, because they're family oriented, and so it's pretty much the same answer no matter whom I ask. Right, more questions? Luca, people say distance doesn't matter, but what if you can only travel once a year? Doesn't that make this way harder? Well, that makes it almost, I'm not saying impossible, it's still possible, but that one is going to be extremely difficult. If you can only get away once a year, yeah, that's going to be a huge test, and most of the relationship will not survive that, so you just need to be prepared for that. Because imagine, so you use your 1 or 2 week vacation time to get to your destination, you meet the girl of your dreams, but then you had only a couple of dates, because you need to leave at some point, you can stay forever. So maybe even you got lucky, you had 3-4 dates, so your relationship barely started, and then you're not gonna see each other. It's gonna be, even if you file for fiancé visa right away, it's still about a year processing time. So it will be extremely difficult. So you would need to think about how you can make those things work. Maybe you can you can take mini vacation, like long weekend, and she can meet you in a third country, something not that far from United States, if she doesn't have a tourist visa, which most likely she doesn't. So you can spend that time together. Even 3-4 days will really help, and it's great when people travel together. It also gives them the better understanding of their partner, all the good and bad things, something to look for when let's actually move in. So visa approved, she moved in, so you already has this mini experiences on those mini vacations. So yeah, try to come up with some the game plan, and of course it's important to stay in daily contact, which is going to be difficult in so many cases also because of the time differences. Of course, if you go in Latin America, it's not that bad, time difference is going to be only a couple of hours, but if we're talking about Asia or Eastern Europe, 7-10 hours difference, you wake up and she goes to sleep, and maybe she's working 2 jobs, you're busy at your work, so it's going to be very, very hard to find time for each other. So make sure you have your routine schedule, so you find some time for those video calls, maybe even 10 minutes a day, just to catch up, to say good morning to each other, or recap how the day went, and of course stay in touch with Messenger all the time. All right, Timothy says, you say meeting in person is the best, but what if someone is amazing on video and bad in person? How often does it happen? More often than you think. Well, that's why you need to meet in person. She can be the nicest, the friendliest person on the video, but then you go meet her and she's just evil. That can happen, because on the video you talk only for 30 minutes, anybody can fake anything. But when you spend time in real life, it's a little bit different experience. Or maybe you're sitting at the restaurant and she's nice and friendly to you, but then waiter comes and she just starts yelling at the waiter because he didn't bring her the right dish or something. So you just watch how she treats other people. So it happens very often, and that's why I'm saying meet in person. Nothing will replace a personal meeting. Earl, if a man meets many women, how do you know he's not treating it like shopping? What rules do you give him? Don't treat it like shopping. Of course, and that's why I don't recommend meeting too many women. Don't go too crazy trying to meet 40, 50 ladies on your trip, because you're not gonna remember their names. You're not gonna chance to get to know them. You're there to find the person to spend your life with. So try to go on multiple dates with the same woman. So 3-4 dates with the same individual. So instead of 21st dates, that's not gonna accomplish anything for you. You'd rather meet, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. But even 10, it's already getting out there. Of course, not all the ladies you meet you're gonna be interested in, or they're not gonna be interested in you. It's natural. But once you find someone who, there is a good potential, don't ignore it. Spend time with her. Focus. Julian says, that poll says it all, and how that dating is in the UK and the US. Well, dating can be very challenging. Eric, if a woman says she wants marriage fast, wait a second, I lost this. How do you know she's not rushing for a visa? Well, even if she's rushing for a visa, it's still about a year waiting time before the visa is approved. So you have this year to test your relationship. And in some cultures like Philippines, it's very common to commit fast. It's natural. I mean, for them, it's not going to be common in Eastern Europe. So if you go to Ukraine and your second date woman says, "Let's get married," it's a huge red flag. I just can't imagine any Ukrainian woman in the right mind just saying that on the second date. But in the Philippines, yeah, there's a good chance, after a few dates, she's gonna offer to go meet her family. So that's not unheard of. So just keep the cultural thing in mind. And again, that the visas, it's gonna help you to test your relationship. So you're waiting that year for a visa. She comes here, you still have 90 days to decide if you still wanna proceed with that marriage. You have 90 days to get married. And then other immigration things comes in play, filing for your green card, which is also long, can be a very long wait. It's just that time frame could be average, also about a year, but can be faster. Okay, it just really depends on the case. And it's going to be a conditional green card, so she can keep the green card only if she stays married to you for the next 2 years. So by the time she gets a permanent, really permanent status, permanent green card, you will be in a relationship at the very least like 3-4 years. So if she can fake it for 3-4 years, that's on you if you were buying it for 3-4 years. And again, people cannot really fake it that well for 3-4 years. I can understand maybe for a few days, for a week, but not 3 years. Joe says, in matchmaking, do you factor in looks or all the focus on character traits? Well, it always starts with the looks for both men and women. It's it starts with that, but of course then focus shifts to the personality. No matter how beautiful a woman is, if she doesn't have a good character, most likely not gonna stick around, and vice versa. A guy can be very handsome, but when a woman finds out he's not gonna be a good loyal husband, she's gonna move on. So looks only matters for the first few minutes. Of course, there has to be mutual attraction. So, but that's also not about looks. There are so many factors into chemistry and how it appears. Ivan, if a guy can travel for months, why shouldn't he just date local and save money? What's the real reason to wait? And I agree. So you don't need to just give up on local dating altogether and just wait for your tour for the next 2 years. No, don't do that. Go out on local dates. There are so plenty of dating websites, or meet people, women in your community through mutual friends. Just go out on dates. Some dates gonna be good, some not. Maybe you'll find that perfect person here. You don't need to travel abroad for that. So yeah. And actually, it will be good too. The practice of going on dates will help you when you go on a tour, because if you haven't been on dates in ages, you're gonna be very nervous when you go on a tour, because you still need to talk to human beings. You still need to make a good impression. So yeah, practice here. It works out great. If it doesn't, well, at least you practice. Ryan says, if a guy wants Netflix and chill, how do you know he's not lazy or cheap or just wants easy company? Well, before a guy offers Netflix and chill, you can look at the pattern of the behavior. If he always offers Netflix and chill, then yes, most likely he's just not very outgoing and more introverted, prefer staying at home type of guy. Which again, there is nothing wrong with staying at home watching Netflix. There can be women that totally will enjoy it. Her ideal spending time would be also sitting on the couch and just watching something on Netflix. There is nothing wrong with that, but it's important to find the partner with the same level of energy. And again, that you will find out, or she will find out when you spend time together. So meet in real life and you see what kind of dates he's going to be offering to go to. Of course, first couple dates probably going to be some restaurants, but see if he will offer some other activities. Okay, let's go bowling, let's go for a walk in the park. If all he offers is just, yeah, let's meet in the lobby of my hotel for coffee, yeah, it probably gives you an idea. David says, so you interview with the guy who was on the bus for 17 hours from Warsaw to Kiev. If I take a train from Warsaw to Kiev, it seems I still have to travel 5 hours to go to Kryvyi Rog. Thoughts? Well, I feel bad for you for such long journey, that's for sure. I personally, in this case, would do the train, because at least on the train you can sleep. On the bus, I personally can't. It's uncomfortable, even if I buy a second seat next to me. It was, on my last trip I had to do the 11 hours bus ride in Europe overnight. God, that sucked. I was awake all night and it just was not good, and I had to continue traveling further. So yeah, I would not do that again. So train is the way to go. Spend more money. Yes, it's gonna cost you. One person sleeping compartment is $250 on the PolRail website. Just make sure you book it in advance. Those tickets go on sale about 40 days prior or something like this. So just monitor it as soon as it's on sale. Go buy it, and so by the time you get to Kiev, at least you slept, you more or less rested, and then again you can you already at the train station, so you can hop on the train to Kryvyi Rog instead of a bus. Take the intercity train. So it's another option. Still better than bus, in my opinion. I'm just not a big fan of buses. Alonso says, at social, some men get excited and say yes to the first nice woman. How do you stop guys from picking too fast? Well, that's why we schedule them dates anyway, so our staff have your lists, and they will line up some dates even before you go to social, so you're already gonna have your schedule. So yes, you might really like the first girl you meet, but they're still gonna be pushing you like, okay, we have these 3 other dates lined up for you. Just go. Just go try it. The woman is already ready. She's excited to meet you. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You have this coffee and you go back to that first lady you met. If it's your destiny, then you're gonna be together. But give it a try. Meet other ladies. At least exchange phone numbers, because what if things don't work out with this first lady? Well, you have option B, C, D. You can contact other ladies, reconnect with them, and see what happens. Christopher says, you say women are real and serious. How do you prove that? What do you check exactly? Well, we don't give them lie detector tests. No, that's not what we do. The same thing, I can say that all guys that are going have serious intentions. Some guys are just players, and that they're just to date multiple women. So we don't give them lie detector test, and that's vice versa. But in so many countries, our staff knows ladies personally. Like in Ukraine, it's a little bit more complicated because we work with affiliate partners there. So our Kyiv staff is not gonna know all 3,000 women that registered in that city. But if we're talking, for example, Colombia, all the ladies sign up at the office, or Philippines. They physically come to the office. In the Philippines, even the staff is taking their photos right at the office. So they're spending some time there talking to staff. There's some interaction. So our staff usually can tell. They've been doing it for years. Of course, we can't make guarantees of everybody's intentions, but we're doing our best. David says, I've chatted with a lady from Kryvyi Rog, so if I consider that long train ride, do you know if Kiev or Odessa is close to that city? I was trying to look on the map, thanks. Well, if you go through Odessa, then in this case, I would say fly to Moldova, not to Poland. Take a taxi, it's $200 from Moldova to Odessa. And then from Odessa, you can take a train. So you're gonna be less tired. It's gonna be a much faster train. So if you go through Odessa. All right, that might. Oh no, there's another one. Starfleet. If translation is used, how do you know the translator isn't changing the meaning or picking sides? Well, our interpreters are professionals, so they don't do that. But also try not to piss off your interpreter, you know, we're also human, so normally it doesn't happen. So as long as you treat your interpreter nicely, you know, then it's gonna be good. Of course, you know, if you mean and rude, yeah, there could be some things lost in translation. Plus, the lady will, you know, she will see your interaction with the interpreter. She will see something that something is off. So it's very important to treat staff, interpreters, everybody with respect and be nice to people. And with that being said, that was our last question for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you next week.